Do you want a phone which looks like this? Or a rectangle? Do you want a fruit? Or a dodgy bot? Okay, so today we'll be looking at Apple versus Android. So probably lots of people watching this video will be Android users, and probably a lot of people watching this video will be Apple users. However, I want to be able to see the differences today and show you guys which one I think that you should buy. So let's have a look. Okay, so I am personally an Apple user, but many of you might be different. And so firstly I'm just going to compare it to a Galaxy S9 or Samsung Galaxy S9, how you might know it. So first let's have a look at the size. This Galaxy's a bit bigger and it weighs a bit less. I think the Apple has a better screen. I think the resolution's slightly better on S9, and the running system, I'm saying iOS 11 is slightly quicker. Storage, you can have two different sizes. I guess that's because Apple wants more business, but there you go. Micro SD, that's for expandable storage. Apple doesn't want you to do that, don't know why, but you know, you can do it. It just takes a lot of time, which no one cares about. Processor, Snapdragon 845, sounds a bit like the devil, and you got the A11 Bionic, which sounds a bit like a robot. I don't know. The RAM, you got a bit more on the S9, however, the S9 is probably going to be the equivalent to the iPhone 11, which will probably be out in September, so you can't really compare it, as there's been way more Galaxies. Anyway, super speed, dual pixel, blah blah blah, and then you got dual 12 megapixel rear. There's a bit more information on this one, but you sort of get this thing. This is a tiny 1 megapixel difference. If you look at the first ever iPhone, it's got a 2 megapixel camera, and you can probably tell that the difference between an 8 megapixel and a 7 megapixel is going to be tinier than my children. Okay, Bluetooth, they both got 5.0, so if you got AirPods, which for Apple, they'll fit, and they do actually work with Samsung rubbish. Then you got Iris, fingerprint, Face ID, and intelligent scan. I don't know what intelligent scan is. I know what this Face Unlock is basically Face ID. Fingerprint, that's on the back. I'm not sure why they didn't include that in the iPhone 10, but I'm not an Apple worker, so I would not know. Then we have the Iris, Face ID, come on, stop lying. They're the exact same. Then we got, you know what, you can have a look at this. I'll leave the link, but you know, you got this. You got this. You got some more colours. And then you look at the price. $720 to $999. You might be thinking, wow, the iPhone X is expensive. However, I think the quality is a lot nicer. So let's take a look at what they look like. What you would have seen at the start of the video, this is what an iPhone X looks like from the front, from the side and the back, from the front. I personally think this is a nicer design than most because they've hidden the antennas pretty well. It's such a round design, don't know what the heck that was. You got a lot of options, and I think they've designed it very well. I'm not too sure about the notch, but you can't have everything perfect. Come on, let's take a look at the S9. So this is the S9, and although people are saying, hey Apple, why the heck have you got a notch? They don't have one at the bottom, and although they've like rounded at the sides here, they still have this. And that looks pretty ugly. I mean, I don't mind that as a phone, but it looks a bit more rectangular. If we just compare them quickly, like this is me being amazing here, you can automatically see that this has they've made it look nicer. It just looks better. I don't see why people actually would want to go for something like this. I just don't like the design. Maybe the specs are better, but the design's not as nice. That's one thing I don't like. Okay, so before we watch this, I just want to say this was uploaded by a guy called Recombu. Right? This is just because I don't want to get a copyright strike. That's the only reason I'm telling you this. As I don't want to make it seem like I'm being too biased against the S9, I want to show you some of the good things about it before you say, okay, I'm getting an iPhone. So it is firstly cheaper by about $200 or £200, same price in England, don't know why. But they've also got something called Super Slow Mo, which is very okay for a phone, I'm saying, okay. 700 and something frames per second, I believe. Let's take a look at what it is a bit like, so we'll take it from here. So as you can see, it does do very well with slow-mo. Don't know what the flashing is with the car. Maybe it's the camera. That could be something wrong with the camera. I'm not sure. Let's take a look at some iPhone 10 slow-mo. Okay, so this is one of the iPhone X. This was uploaded by a person called Video Scored. I'll link both of these channels in the description, so please don't copyright me, YouTube, if you're watching. Okay, so this is what it looks like for the Apple. As you can probably already tell, it's a bit quicker, as it's only 240. I need to look up what the S9 frames is, I'll tell you. And maybe that'll get us slightly quicker towards the end so you can see what it is in real time. No. Okay, so that's real time. And then you'll get slow-mo, maybe. Okay, there you can see the difference. Oh, anyway, that's a bit of what the iPhone X is. Okay, so the S9 does 900 and something frames a second, so that is probably about 4 times better than the Apple, which I'm not too surprised about, but it's good. Also, we probably have a slight better design of the Face ID, because they've somehow done it so although they haven't had a full screen display, they've pretty much had it so the notch works that you probably could put LEDs over. I mean, there are some design things for a future iPhone or Samsung or Sony rectangle which could possibly have LEDs over it, but you can sort of see how the S9 has done different things. But let's take a look at some of the other specs. So what you can do is something called AR emojis, which, as you can see here, it looks pretty good in a cartoon, so it's sort of like Fortnite style. That might sound a bit odd, but yeah, you can do that. And some people are saying, well, you're copying Nintendo with their character. So this is a bit of a bad quality one, but as you can see, it sort of has the same thing. This is the first ever of, like, Nintendo's avatars. And this is, again, there's one here. Compared to the Samsung, it's nothing. I mean, if we go back to like this one, it is a lot more high quality. So there is a bit of Samsung's own element, but I mean, come on, it is a bit of a copy. You can't say that's completely original. And then if we compare it to the Animoji, which someone's done here, as you can see, I don't know who's done it better with a smile. There's more examples here. I'm not really sure which one's better. You can sort of see the iPhone 10 next to it. They've done a better job on the sides with no notch and bezel, whatever you want to call them. But the Apple has done better with the top, with less of a notch than the Galaxy S9. So, don't know what you want to think about it. There's an article by TechAdvisor, which is the running systems. So at the moment, the latest Android is Oreo, and the latest is iOS 11. We are on 11.3 in the UK, or on my devices that is. So let's have a look. Apparently they're fairly the same. I guess the main thing which sets them aside is Android is cheaper, but that's not to do with this. I think the new things with Android's Oreo, it's 2 times faster to boot up, all of that good stuff. They look slightly different apparently. I don't see any difference, but there you go. I don't know what's different, what's new in iOS 11. Improved Siri. I think Apple have definitely beaten some people, by that I mean Android, on their Siri, which I think is called something else on the voices, called Bixby. I don't think it's as good as it's like a sort of first time, although it might be able to translate. It doesn't have as a natural voice as Siri does. I don't know about the names, both of them are fairly terrible. Siri, Bixby, come on, just call it like Jill. Like, that's better than Bixby. And you got Siri. Call it like, I don't know, Joseph. I guess it's because it's like an odd name, and so people don't. Maybe it stands for something. I don't know why they made that. As a dock. I guess that's a better design feature than this. Because this has, like, your favourite apps down here. However, the dock looks slightly rounder. I'll show you. So that's what the dock looks like. It's slightly rounder than the Android, like, box. I think one of the main reasons that I recommend getting an iPhone is the roundness. It's like, if you holding in your hand, it's like slightly harder to reach for the top when you have something like the S9, because it is a larger phone. It is a stretch, and as you can see, iPad, iPhone, they're very smooth, and I think they've designed it very well. That's the dock again. And then, yeah, you got the home button. I'm not a fan of it staying there. You know, why did they take away? Should I buy Android Oreo? They're both very good. They have new features. If you have an iPad, then iOS 11 clearly wins over Android. Okay, so apparently both are good. I'm not saying that Android's bad. They have some great phones. Except, looking at the article, they're fairly the same on iPhone and Samsung phone, whatever. On the iPad, it does win, so I guess, and iOS is the winner. Okay, so here are some reasons why Android is better. If you're still an Android user and you think it's better. So, here we go. You can get a compact phone, rotating camera. There's a micro SD, fair enough. There's more choices of phone, fair enough. But come on, look that these aren't as round as this baby. That's a 6S. And I get there's a price, but come on. If you can get an iPhone, if you get an iPhone 7, if you want a waterproof phone like iPhone 7, which is perfectly waterproof, you can go for a swim with it. IP67, right? That if you get that on eBay, or if you want to watch Ali, if you get an eBay, let's find an eBay iPhone 7. Alright. Cheap. Let's see what the buy it now. Lowest price. Okay, screen protector rubbish. Okay, here we go. Empty box, £12. Here you go, 69. Although it might have a crack, it's only £69. It's a great price. 69, everybody. And then here's like £99, so it's only £100 for like a very good phone. This is probably the equivalent of an S7 or an S8. iPhone 7, £110. I think these are good prices on eBay. I don't care if you don't like eBay, but there you go. I mean, you don't get much better than eBay. Yeah, okay, prices go away, no one cares. Customization, yeah, you can customize it. I think Apple do need to improve on that. Widgets, iOS don't have widgets, but I'm sure they will add it. I might just be dissing Android here, but there are quite a few things which Android is better at. Pretty much. If you go to Android, you might get a better Ali clickbait experience. However, if you go to Apple, you might get, I guess, better phones. I don't know. It's up to your personal suggestions. I might have actually done nothing. You might have just been wasting your time watching this video. You're probably right, if you say that. Anyway, make sure you subscribe to Ali for some great content. As you can see, there's no clickbait. That's why you should go to this amazing guy. I mean, look at that face. That is some serious non-clickbait here. Let's find... Oh, okay. Look at these great videos, you know. Look, they're the same face. I just found an Ali hack. He uses the same... He has like 6 faces. This one? Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't know why I'm commenting on Ali. He's a great YouTuber. Anyway, so with Apple, let's just put it down to the final of what I think you should decide. If you want a phone which is slightly worse design, however you have more accessibility on apps, then I recommend you go for Android, and it's slightly cheaper. If you're for the higher range of quality is what I think quality, with good designs, good photos. I think what all you need for a phone is an iPhone, and perfectly good models for good prices. Maybe you can't get the brand new one, but I still think Apple is good. So I can't say there's a winner. For me, the winner is Apple. Well done. You leave a like if you agree, leave a like if you didn't agree. If you dislike this video, you'll get terminal cancer like all of our videos. And make sure you subscribe to Ali A. The links for the videos I've been watching are down below. Good people, thank you watching. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Don't know what that was. Goodbye.